welcome to Mystic Challenge. But how much will today's Mystic Masters be able to reveal about our mystery guests using only their spooky skills? Well, taking up today's challenge are tarot card readers Chris Forster and Dean Hill. At the moment, thanks to our headphones, they are unable to hear anything. And as the mystic doors shut silently on our magic booth, they're also unable to see anything. And here to ensure fair play and judge the accuracy of our mystics is our jury of 12, led by their foreman, Sunday Mirror columnist, Mr. Ian Hyland. Hello, Ian. Hello. OK, so for the slow of thinking, can you explain your role in today's proceedings?
I'm here to make sure nothing untoward happens during or before the show is recorded.
So no clues as to the identity or personality of the mystic guest, apart from those discovered by the mystic's powers?
Absolutely none at all.
In the shell of a nut. That's the job of the jury and the foreman. And now it's time for us to hear from our very first mystery guest.
I'm Dave Courtney, and I'm an ex-gangster. At the moment, I'm an author and all-round entertainer. I've got on very well with my parents. I think I was a lot closer to my mum. I lived on a council estate. It was very nice. I had a happy childhood. I was very popular at school, but very mischievous. I lost my virginity at 11. I had a number of year-long relationships all the way through my teens till I was 18, where I got married. It lasted for 7 months. I then got married again at 21, which lasted for 14 years. And I now live in Plumstead, London, with my new lady, Jenny Bean, and we have 3 children. Money-wise, I'm a rags to riches story, I suppose. As my criminal activities grew, so did my earning potential, and the problem I had with my money in the end was what to do with it and where to hide it, rather than how to earn it. Health-wise, I've always kept myself pretty fit. I've been a professional boxer and trained all the way through my life, but I had one spate in hospital in 1980 where I was shot in the leg. I entered the security business at about 19, personal security, bodyguards. I was still very much involved at the time with my criminal activities, which were post office vans, banks, and etc. In 1997, I went to prison for a year, and it worked for me that time. It frightened me, and I didn't want no more of it. So I came out of prison and started writing for a leading men's magazine. Found I had the gift for writing, and ever since I've wrote 2 books. The biggest life-changing experience I've had was the prison sentence I served in 1997 for a crime that I didn't commit, and the outcome if it had gone wrong is I was going to get 20 years. That changed my life for me.
He's hard but fair, a bit like this show. Anyway, our mystery guest is waiting in the wings, so now it's time to put our mystic masters to the test. Remember, only our jury, and of course you at home, know the identity of our mystery guest. Our first challenger today is tarot card reader Chris Forster. Now, earlier today, Chris studied a set of cards chosen by the mystery man. Not a word was spoken. So will you welcome Chris Forster? Sir, take a seat. Now, you're going to have 90 seconds, Chris, to fill us in on our mystery guest. What areas do you want to focus on?
Right, the areas I'd like to look at are money, health and relationships.
Money, health and relationships. Good luck. Choose your words carefully. Your 90 seconds starts now.
This is a man waiting for the right time to make an important business decision. He invests money and also gambles with money. And whether it's legal or not, he's a good investor. By training, he's a skilled artisan, but he's involved now in buying and selling in a big way. But his mind's on keeping what he's got and making more. There are legal problems around the security of his own home, and his workaholic nature could even make him a compulsive gambler. Money should come to him now, inheritance or what he's worked for. Jewellery is highly significant to this person. In health, I feel he suffered with problems in the lungs and bronchial tracts, but he's a really benevolent man and would be a typical blood or kidney donor type person, especially to those he cares for. Varicose veins could cause him problems, but he's tried mountaineering in the past and is a lover of nature. He works on his intuition a great deal. In relationships, I see 7 young children, and he takes responsibility for all his offspring. In his teenage years, I feel he was pushed into marriage. In spirit, the name Violet comes in from the past as someone significant. I feel he fought his way through a large family, but would do anything for an elderly mother. There's a family link with Bradford in Yorkshire, and a bear or bull's head is significant to him. His life story is known by the public, and he's been read about in newspapers and seen on TV.
We're going to have to leave it there, Chris. Do you want to squeeze one more in quickly?
There is a criminal aspect around him, and the police have an interest.
OK, that's slightly more than 90 seconds, but give him a round of applause. Thank you, Chris. Hey! And Chris's cosmic challenges today is tarot card reader Dean Hill. The only information Dean has to work with is a set of tarot cards chosen by our heavily disguised mystery guest. And again, not a word has been spoken to the guest. Please welcome Dean Hill. Sir, take your seats.
Thank you.
You two, mate, will have 90 seconds to fill us in on the mystery guest. What areas do you want to aim at in particular?
I'd like to aim at childhood, relationships and career.
Slightly different then. Childhood, relationships and career. Dean, your 90 seconds starts now.
Childhood. I believe his relationship with his parents is good now, but I think he had problems with his father, who was judgmental and a bit patriarchal. As a child, he was independent, strong-willed even, and maybe had a power struggle with the mother who would always be trying to get him in touch with his inner self. He is a natural leader and may have been a bully for a bit. I mean, he could have been seen as a threat. He knows life's lessons are learned through easy and difficult situations, and he doesn't shy away from them. But he also had a great deal of stealth, the ability to scrutinize and inner knowledge as a child that would have really got him into trouble. As far as his relationships are concerned, I don't know. Well, I think that there is someone in his life, but I don't think he's going to tie a knot until he has had more time to devote to himself. There were possibly 2 major relationships in the past, and I think he's had 2 personal breakthroughs which have made him see himself in a different light. One when he was somewhere between 10 and 16 when he lost someone, and the other when he was maybe about 30. As far as the career, it looks as though he works and teaches somehow in the arts. He's definitely a communicator and a jokester, and I think there was a sudden change in his work which led him from working with a group of people to working on his own. He definitely does spiritual work and is somehow a healer, and I think all of his old expectations that held him back have vanished. He's on to big things.
You've got 10 seconds left. Anything you want to add?
No, just that it was the most difficult reading that I've done in a while.
Bit of honesty there from Dean, of course, as ever. Thank you to Dean, ladies and gentlemen. Well, they found him a tough nut to crack, and it's time for our Mystic Masters to meet their mystery guest. Please welcome former East End gangster turned businessman and writer, Dave Courtney. Hey, sir. Take a seat, Dave. Right. Well, they didn't have too much in common because they shot for different areas. So let's start with Chris's up some. He mentioned criminal aspects of the past. True, of course.
Yeah, but they're definitely in the past.
And he mentioned the fact that your history is known to the public through newspapers and through TV, and of course your great books.
Yeah, I've got a book out at the moment, and you were spot on with that. You were very wrong. There's not a lot of mountains in Peckham, though.
Except, though, I wonder whether the climbing... Did you ever climb over the prison walls, or did you just say in there...
I tried, and I had lots of dreams about it, but no.
Now, you mentioned the jewellery, the old tomfoolery, and you had a very special knuckle duster at one time, didn't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I had a solid gold one made out of someone else's tiara. And it's now a prop and a very expensive ornament in my house.
And as you say, the criminal career firmly in the past. Now, security problems around your home, does that ring any bells?
Not really. I'm actually under severe scrutiny from the police 24 hours a day. Whether the fact that I've decided to go, I ain't doing it no more. They haven't, so they do the security for me, I should think.
And you did say in your little film, which of course our mystics didn't see, that at one stage in your criminal career, it wasn't getting the money that was a problem, it's what to do with it. So investment was a concern.
Investment was a very big concern, yeah.
Now, what's this possibly about a connection with bears and bulls? Any animal links at all?
Yeah. Well, what that actually is, I was very shocked with that. I was quite a sceptic until that bit was. I've had golden lions, like the little gold lion on the Union Jack holding up the crest. I've had little golden lions painted either side of all of my windows of the front of my house. There's like golden lions. And the first one, the first set they done, I didn't sit and watch him finish the work, and when I come home they looked like dancing bears to me.
Oh.
So I've had to completely whitewash the house again and put them back on. So
OK, very quickly though, he mentioned the name Violet. My second daughter's called Violet. Did you know any Violet? Does that mean anything to you?
No, not really, no.
OK, let's move on to Dean now then. OK, we know you got on with your parents. He said your dad could be a bit judgmental, a bit bossy, or...?
I don't think I quite turned out to be exactly what Dad wanted to be, you know.
Were you ever, I can't believe it, looking at it, were you ever a bit of a bully?
Rumour has it.
Right.
Allegedly.
But at the same time, you work and teach in the arts, and you're very spiritual. The martial arts?
The martial arts, I think, yeah. But as for believing in God, yes, I do, yeah.
OK, now back to the past history. 2 major relationships. I'm right in thinking you were married twice, weren't you?
That's right, yeah.
Right. And did some big change happen between 10 and 16?
I lost my nan, which doesn't sound a big thing, but it was an awfully big thing to me.
And how about at the age of 30?
Around about that age, I met Jennifer, my new lady, and that is, you know, when you actually meet your soul partner and you fall in love, you know, bang on, that's when my life changed.
And let's go back to Chris just for one final one. He saw 7 children. How many children have you actually got?
7 children?
I've got 6, but whether you believe this one or not, big things are happening for me in my life, and I didn't know whether to have another one now or wait, so that was actually a conversation yesterday in my house about having another baby. But the woman up the road as well, she could actually come up with it.
Well, I think we should go down that road, Dave. But for the moment, some fascinating food for thought there, thanks to Chris and Dean.
Thank you very much.
And Dave has heard this once or twice. It's time for a verdict from the jury. Ian?
We have a verdict. Dean was pretty good on the relationships, but he let himself down on the career, whereas Chris was spot on with the criminal element. But I'm not sure about the varicose veins, but Chris took it anyway.
So Chris is the winner. Give him a round of applause. Congratulations to Dean, and big thanks to the mighty Dave Courtney for joining us here on Mystic Challenge. And if you want to find out more about the show, you can log onto our website, but don't do it now. I'm excited. More stuff after this.